bodies of water, they're not gonna relate to cover as much because they're chasing bait, guys. So they're gonna be more. Okay, guys, the reason why we pick up a spinner bait, a lot of times, like I said, when the feed up comes along, you got threadfin shad, you got gizzard shad, but mainly the threadfin is why I focus on, because in my experience, in the places I fish, the threadfin are usually the first to start going into the creeks as it cools. They're smaller, and I think they die off a lot faster. So I think it's just instinctual for them to just head towards the creek mouths and the river mouths and stuff like that, and the oxbows and whatnot, to get away from the cooler temps and predators. So guys, when they start spawning, I start throwing that shad patterns, spinner baits like that, because I definitely want to key in on that. But I also have spinner baits that are like chartreuse, and some that might be black and blue, just kind of break the monotony of it. You still got the blades kind of mimicking the bait, but that silhouette of these different colors will help you catch them too. It'll kind of break the bass away from that school and attack that one bait that looks like a better meal for them. So reason why we're going to throw and stuff like this, like I was saying, them ambush points are prime for moving baits. Now, if this was deeper, I could see you throwing a crankbait or something like that. It'll probably get bit too as well. But the flash and the vibration of that spinnerbait gets them lateral lines jumping, guys. Trust me. It's something that you definitely want to have in your hand right when the feed up starts or in the middle of it. So what we do is, it may take a few casts on an area. For you guys that fish a lot, you know September is a tough month, guys. You got that transition, the beginning of the transition. Okay, so you're going to have to find them fish, and they're going to be scattered. Some will be shallow, you know, in the evening time. Some will be out in the middle, offshore. So you really want to just work a bait that you can cover a lot of water and find them schools. Not the wolf packs or the small guys, but you want to find them schools that are 2 to 5 pounders at this time of year, because they're feeding up and they're going to be a little bit bigger by the time you get a hold of them. So what we're going to do is we're going to keep attacking our point, because there's bait in here. There's a lot of bait in here. There's smaller crappie in this body of water right here. There's a lot of small crappie in it. So there's a lot of things they have to chew on in these ambush points. Like I just scared a few right there. So what I'm doing is I'm going to keep throwing till I get them, because it might take you 10 casts, guys. Don't get discouraged if you're throwing a juicy spot in the first 5 casts, you're going to get blasted on. Go ahead and give it 10 more. I mean, even longer than that. If I know it's good, I'm going to stay there a while. I'm going to give it a few minutes. Don't be scared to stay post up and hit a spot. Don't be scared of that. I mean, even if you're in a tournament, if you got a good idea that they're there, and you can see them on your fish finder, hey, that's even better. Stay there and get on them. We're coming to that time of year now, guys, where you can catch the fish of a lifetime. So you want to maximize your chances of getting them. See, we want to be patient. Now, I didn't went over that hump, but I also caught 3 fish off that hump, so we're gonna go right back to it. See, our wind's starting to die down, guys. Now, here's something that I do that a lot of people might not do, or some might. When I see that wind kind of calm down and starting to flatten out, and I'm like, okay, the flash, the vibration won't be as beneficial. I'm gonna still stick to my forage patterns, like the shad patterns. What I'm gonna do next is I'll pick up a swim jig, guys. I'll pick up a swim jig. It can look like a crawl to you, but to that fish, when it's moving, it's gonna look like bait fish to them. Color selection is key, guys. You wanna make sure you know what the color that bait fish is, or something similar or close to it. We're gonna bounce. We're gonna do the Bama bounce. Kind of get out there. We know they're there. We know that they're hunting. You just gotta find what they want. And a swim jig just might be the right thing for them. A lot of people, I'm throwing a 7.3 right now, medium heavy, but a lot of guys don't understand. I like a shorter rod for this. I like a 7 foot or a 7.1, 7.2 if I can find it. I don't really like a long rod because I feel like I don't get the accuracy that I want. I mean, I can cast it anywhere I want, but I really want to make sure I pinpoint and try to maximize them spots. So I want to make sure I get in there, because sometimes they're tight. They're tight on that. They don't really just relate to cover because of the sun or the weather as much at this time of year, but they'll be tight to something where they can hide. So I want to make sure I got something I can get there. See, like that cast right there was perfect, but I like to be spot on. So I know I work that area thorough. Don't have much like that. Okay. One more cast. Right across there. There we go. Something turning up. Something's throwing this alive. That's bottom. That had to be bottom. Fall in that hole. Yeah, there we go. Okay, guys. Come on, baby. Where you at? Plus, see, this starts to tire your arm out. The longer rods will. When you're working that swim jig, it'll start to tire your arm out. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna change this rod. We're gonna go to our shorter rod and we'll start working